Hey everybody, I'm Mad Capper. Welcome to my channel, and once again I have a guide for Raid Shadow Legends. And today I want to talk about building champions. A lot of people look for a guide when building their champion. I'm here to tell you, you do not need a guide. That said, there are some great content creators who offer some really good guides. I've used Kizzle, I've used Brad Chosen, I've used DM, Darth Microtransaction, I've used Stu Gaming, Valar, Dragon Grind, Hell's Hades, the list goes on of the people that have helped me when I understand how to build a champion. But they can't hit, there are over 300 champions. You're not going to find a guide for every single one. So how do you build a champion if you don't have a guide, or if you just want to kind of figure it out for yourself? Well, I'm about to show you how. As you can see, I'm working on Talia right now. I have just 6-starred her this morning, and I've decided to build her up as my next 6-star champion, mainly for faction wars, but who knows where else I can use her. So let's just take a look at it and see what we can do. We're going to move over to the champions here. By the way, as a side note, I have yet to get through one of these single take without having to do a voiceover. This is my hope. I'm using some amazing music by No Copyright Sounds. There'll be a link in the description below if you want some good no copyright sounds. Check them out. It's great EDM music that I love to listen to. So I hope I get this done and I don't have to do a voiceover for this. My goal is to make it less than 30 minutes, which I always seem to do when I ramble on. So here's Talia. Before I go to Talia, I want to go through the basics of how to decide on how to build a champion. Now, when you look at champions, there's going to be several different types. The first type you can see is a support. Arbiter is an example of this. A support is a generally useful support group that is going to help assist in creating damage for your other champions. That does not mean they don't do damage themselves, but it's a general classification of the type of abilities they have. HP champions are specific tanky type champions that use HP modifier, usually, on their offensive and defensive skills. Attack champions, they are your damage dealers. They have very low sustainability, very high damage output. They're the ones with the big attack, big crit rate, big damage. They're the ones that are going to take down the enemy fast. And finally, you're going to have defensive based champions, and like Torment here. Defensive based champions are the stalwarts of the game. They're going to last a long time. Usually their defensive modifier is on their attack as well, which generally makes them more useful for sustainability in things such as the clan boss. So, but no matter which class you have, no matter which one of these, you can see I've got a whole bunch of different styles. They all serve a purpose, and that purpose is to kind of give you a general idea of how you want to gear them. It does not necessarily mean that you will one size fits all. For example, Seer, I don't have enough here, but you want her crit rate, crit damage to be as if she's an attack-based champion, even though she's support. Her skills clearly tell you she's an attack-based champion, and her modifier is actually based on enemy max HP, as well as this remove all buffs from all allies, and then uses that damage to increase the damage she puts out. So when you consider this, there are exceptions, but support does give you a general idea of how and what you want to build. So let's take a quick look at my Molly. Now my Molly, my first take at this, I actually respect her on the fly. I made a mistake. We'll talk about that quickly, but I'm just going to go over it. I'm not going to redo it again. So Molly is a support-based champion, but she's got a defensive modifier on her damage, so she's kind of treated like a defensive champion. So I'm going to want to prioritize her defense, her HP, and because I'm using her in the arena, her speed. So when I look at how am I going to gear a champion and how am I going to use a champion, what kind of masteries, where am I going to use them? Am I using them in dungeons, arena, clan boss, or just in faction wars? Each of those different areas is going to slightly change how I want to use the champion. In this case, I use Molly primarily, of course, in the arena. So with the arena, the number one thing you're going to want to have is speed. More speed, the merrier. As you can see, I have 225 speed. I'm only getting higher on that. So that's the first thing. I want to build my gear around speed. I also need accuracy. Why do I need accuracy? Well, let's take a look at her A2. We see that she's got a debuff. It's critical debuff for her abilities, and it's provoke. So I want to be able to provoke the enemy so that they're going to hit her. So that's two things. First of all, I need accuracy to land the provoke. Secondly, I need sustainability to take the incoming damage. So that's why we're going to run a lot of defense, a lot of HP. We're going to run the speed high so that she can get the provoke off before the other enemies have a chance to go, and I need that accuracy to make sure it lands. I also want resist because I can't guarantee she'll go first. When she doesn't, hopefully she'll resist some of the incoming buffs and debuffs and get to use her ability. Also, because Provoke focuses all champions to hit her, I do have a 20% chance of freezing them. It's just a nice added ability, a little bit of RNG, but it does sometimes hit that critical lockdown, which gives you enough time to deal with the enemy champions and kill them before they kill you. Everything about this, I'm using defense-based amulet. I'm using a defense-based ring. I'm using an accuracy-based banner. I am actually looking... I don't think I landed a 6-star one yet, so I don't have... It's another 5-star, but it doesn't have the speed. This has the speed. So that's how you make the decisions here. I think I've... No, I don't. I already clicked on that one. So I don't have a better accuracy banner. Obviously, I'd like a 6-star accuracy that's going to get them even higher. But more importantly than that is I need that speed. So there is definitely room to grow. I've got mostly 5-star gear here, and I've got opportunity. For example, wasted attack. I would like this at 60% HP. Or defense. HP is fine because I'm going to want to use 1 HP and 1 defense, and I have the gloves as defense. I'm going to want to look for that speed and accuracy. I'm going to look for the speed and accuracy. If I can get rid of attack and get defense, or even better, just a double roll speed, double roll accuracy, in a 6-star, there's an opportunity to replace these. You're continually growing when you're champions. So now that I've decided what is her purpose is to provoke, it's crowd control, it's get people to hit her. I've decided the gear I want. What about Masteries? Now, Masteries, you're going to choose the same thing. I originally used her in dungeons, so I did have her down the offense tree to help do a little bit extra damage. I don't need her to do damage anymore. Damage is a secondary piece to this, so everything I've made, every decision I've made here, except for this one right here, let me explain. When I first read it, I thought it said debuff. My mind would not get rid of the D, so it's like, oh, extra turn on provoke, that's excellent. It's not right. I shouldn't have used it. It will actually extend her reflect, 30% chance, not really viable. I should have went with this one here, 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% of their HP. Again, being defensive, this doesn't happen as much as an attack-based champion, but still was probably the better skill to use. I did want to get down this resist tree because I want her to have a high resist. I do want this. It gives me a 20% chance with all the Torments out there. That freeze is very prevalent right now in Arena. So a 20% chance to counterattack just means extra damage against the other team. Again, increases resist for each debuff on this champion. If I start getting debuffed a lot, I'm just going to increase my resist more and more, which is great. 30% chance of placing a block debuffs when that freeze wears off. So that's another great ability to have. You're looking at one random debuff being removed from this champion. Always great. Damage from your AoE was reduced. This one here, which is one of my favorite ones, decreases the damage received by 10% while under a stun, sleep, or freeze debuff. Again, it's just that survivability. Defense. The reason why I went defense over resist is obviously I wanted to get to this ability here. Support tree, I am avoiding because I'm using her Arena. I'm avoiding all turn meter boosts. I do like turn meter decreases, like this skill here. I do like increased accuracy, but I do not want to reduce or boost my turn meter because that's just going to give a chance for Tormund's ability, his passive, to freeze me. So this is a chance of decreasing a cooldown of random skill. Not a huge deal, but it was to get to this one right here, which is increases speed for each dead ally. If there's a case where 3 of my allies are dead, Molly's the last one alive. She does have a revive, so it's a chance to bring a friend back to life and put an unkillable buff on them. Yeah, that may freeze them, but hey, better alive than dead. Typically, if Arbiter gets killed, Molly can revive Arbiter, Arbiter can revive the whole team, and I'm back in the game. So that's exactly how I do it. So now let's take a look at Talia. Talia is an attack-based champion, so what are her skills? Where am I using her? I'm going to be using her in Faction Wars. I might use her in dungeons like Firekeep, so I know that I'm probably not going to use her in Arena, although I do want her to have the ability in the Arena at some point. For now, let's just concentrate on Faction Wars and Dungeon. I have better damage dealers in Ethos and Skullcrown. So Talia's probably not going to make the cut in Arena, but it's always good to have extra champs depending on what you're doing. So that's the first thing. So second thing, she's got a three turn A1 that automatically means Giant Slayer. It also means more damage better. She's going to hit 3 times. How much damage can I get her to do? Her A2, Rise to Duty, it does have a 3-turn cooldown when booked. I'm working on booking her as we speak. I'm going to ignore this. I do have Phoenix. Probably not going to use him until maybe late game Faction Wars. But right now I don't have him. I don't only have him at 50. Not very useful for me. But here, the increased attack, even though it's a smaller one, it's improving her attack and her crit rate. So that's a key to me, because in my mind, the turn order I'm going to go when using her is I'm going to use her A2 first, then I'm going to use her A3, and then I'm going to hit, because that way she's going to hit for 100% on those first 2 turns. She's going to hit for 100% when she uses this, because she's going to use it, and then bam. And her second turn, she's probably, I might just hack and slash. Any type of reactionary piece she's going to hack and slash, so she's going to have the 100% crit rate. I might even go Awesome Presence first, because she is not attacking anyone. So if I go this one first, it gives her the counterattack. Then go this one, increases her crit rate, so she's hitting, and then just start whacking away. Either way, I've decided in my head I'm going to build her at 70% crit rate and use this to boost it to 30. That's going to give me a chance to use other abilities to maybe get her crit damage up, for example. So now we know this is an attack-based hero. Does have a weaken, but it's not a high priority weaken. The bomb is very low priority. This weaken, while it is the bigger version of the weaken, it's not a high priority for me, because I'm not going to live and die on landing that debuff. So I will have accuracy, but it's not my priority. So what am I going to want to do here? I want crit rate 70. I want crit damage to 250. I want her HP to probably be 30k if I can get it there, and any added defense for survivability. Most importantly, I want speed above 200. That way, in all dungeons, she's getting 2 turns per turn for the boss. Fire Knight is where I mainly think of that. But even in the other ones, I want her to hit and attack as much as possible. So the more speed she has, the better. Resist not going to be important in my opinion. I'm not really going to use her anywhere that resist is a critical piece. Again, accuracy is an afterthought. I'll probably have it over 200, but I'm not going to sit here and try to max it up to 400, because I don't necessarily need it. As you can see, I've got the accuracy. I've got the gear based on what I just said. I'm trying to get her crit damage up. I'm trying to get her attack up, right? I'm getting her accuracy up, but it's not the priority. Speed is. I did use her in a lifesteal gear. I'm going to probably take her out of lifesteal now and just worry about those stats, but lifesteal is definitely an option. In this case, I have a defensive chestplate, probably want a 6-star HP chestplate, so I can increase her HP a little bit higher. Again, the weapon, it's all about crit rate, crit damage, HP is a bonus. Again, crit damage, crit rate, HP, crit damage, speed, crit damage gloves, right? I think I have 80% on somewhere, so I'll make them, but these ones had a double roll on crit rate, which makes them really useful. Also happens to have a attack and HP, so it's kind of a generally useful gauntlet for her. As for Masteries, again, it's simply asking the question, what do you want her to do? In this case, I want her to have accuracy, and I love this ability, decreasing the enemy every time you hit her with your default skill. She does have a debuff that she wants to land. I could have taken her down here and used this skill here, down the defense tree. I decided not to. It is something I might look at in the future. But the main thing here is to get all those offensive abilities, those damage dealers. Hey, if I've got less than 58% HP, which is going to happen a lot, I can hit really hard. I get extra crit rate. I get extra crit damage. Hey, look at that. I get extra speed every time I'm killing someone in the dungeons. Hey, look, I have a 30% chance of decreasing this cooldown of my other skills, so I can have more opportunities to hit with my A2 is mainly what it's about. If the target has less than 40 hit percent, great, I get to hit them more, right? That's what all these are about, and obviously getting to this one, which is what I'm obviously going to get once I get the max. So you can take this with any champion. You can take any champion in the game and use the same thought process. I actually can. Let's take a common champion. So first thing I know about this champion is they're attack based. Because they're attack based, I'm going to be looking at damage dealing and a little bit of sustainability, but mainly we're going to look at crit rate. Okay. What artifacts we're going to put on them? Well, let's take a look at their skills. Very simple. They've got one skill. It lands a 2.5% poison at a whopping 15%. That can be, God forbid, booked to a 30% chance for 2 turns. It's a one-hit attack. This is probably the most painful looking champion in the game, but If we're going to go for it, we're going to go for it. So I'm going to want to prioritize attack, but I'm also going to want accuracy because I'm going to want that poison to land. So I'm going to want to get accuracy above 200 to get that poison to land. And also under Masteries, that's going to come into play. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm probably going to go with an HP chest just to bolster some of her survivability. And then it's just all about, I'm going to want to get her speed up to around 200. I'm going to want to get her crit rate to 100% and her crit damage as high as I can possibly get it. And bonus for adding attack. We probably want to get about 2,000 attack if I can. I don't know if you can on this common, but that's kind of what I would do if I were building a six-star lurker. I almost want to do it for the memes, but I'm not going to because that's such a waste of time and effort. Masteries again. So we're gonna go down the accuracy tree because we want to land that vicious poison. So we're also gonna want this right here, which increases the chances because it's such a low chance to land that poison. This will just give an extra 5%, so that's helpful. And you want to extend that duration because when it actually does land, we're going to want it to be extended. So that's a 30% chance. So we're probably going to go there, and there. Probably going to use a lot of basic gear just to get this champion as high as possible. I'm going to want those set bonuses. I don't want to probably go to a 4-set bonus. I probably want to go to a 2-set bonus so I can get 3 bonuses. If that's the case, something like a savage gear would be absolutely ridiculous, but is an option. Probably the attack gear is going to be very popular for her. I would probably also maybe put her in poison gear as a possibility, but probably would go to the cruel gear, savage gear. We could probably even put relentless for the memes. She's gonna lose a lot of health, so that might be frenzy. Crit damage is also an option. So there are some options, some survivability in stalwart gear, but it's all going to be based around attack based with that 1 HP piece. So I wouldn't go with the defense piece because the modifier is based off your base stats, and I'm guessing at 6 stars she doesn't have great base stats. So again, she's an attack-based champion, so what are we going to do? We're going to go down that offensive tree as well. She's landing her poisons. Now we want to go offense. We want to do crit rate, crit damage. We're going to go down to here because she's a 1-turn, and we're just going to grab any of those damage modifiers. I would probably go this one, these two, this one here, and this one. And then, actually, I wouldn't do that. That's useless because she's only got 1 skill. So we're just going to want to, hey, heals. Healing's nice. Increases damage for each dead ally. Beautiful. If she somehow managed to last, we're going to go for all those damage modifiers. We could go with Helm Smasher, but honestly, she's a single target, single hit. So we're probably just going to go War Master and call it a day. So, again, every and any champion, you can do the same format to make them. I don't have much more to say about it, but if you have any other questions, concerns, comments, things that you think I said wrong, or things that you want to expand upon, please leave a comment down below. Also, please give me a thumbs up, a like. I do this for fun. I do this to hopefully be helpful to the new, advanced, and endgame community. If there's anything you want to add to it, let me know. This is going to be a single take. I'm not even going to edit this thing. I'm just going to finish it prior to 20 minutes and stop rambling on. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for the support you've given me so far, making these for the funds. And go Seahawks. That's my team. They're playing the Eagles today. Hopefully they're going to win. And go Team Canada. They beat Finland today. They're going to meet in the World Juniors. They're going to meet Russia, I believe, tomorrow. And hopefully we're going to take back another gold, although we did lose to Russia, so it'll be an interesting game. With that said, keep your stick on the ice, and for the love of God, please, please don't eat yellow snow. Thank you.